Hi, this is Animal Love Bug 101, and I'm about to show you all the basic needs and care for your own hamster, especially for you first time owners out there. Right here in my hand is bedding. You will need bedding. What type depends on you, what you choose. I usually go with what's on sale, that is this type of bedding. Critter Care and Carefresh, out of those two, or things that are a lot like it. They usually look like this. I like getting things that look like this. It's really soft. It's like a cottony, papery feel. It's very absorbent. It's less messy. It's great for the environment. It's great for my hamster. That's why I choose this. It's also great for many other rodents and reptiles I've heard of. Things you can also use is wood shavings. They're a little less soft and less absorbent and a little more messy, but you can use them. But as long as you don't use pine or cedar, because those can cause respiratory problems from what they smell like and stuff. I've heard of that, so I never took the chance of getting it. Also, newspaper, you can use newspaper. I recommend not to, but if you do, check with your newspaper company, make sure they use soy ink. If they don't, then don't use it. Also, balls. People think they don't need balls, it's not necessary, but it is very necessary because they have so much energy. I usually put my hamster in her ball about 30 minutes to an hour every day. Let her roll around. You need to make sure they're size appropriate though. Being a dwarf hamster, I got mine one of the smallest balls there. So if you get something like a Siberian or a teddy bear or one of those larger breeds, you're going to need to make sure you give larger things, like larger ball, larger cage than I do, stuff like that. So remember that throughout this video. Make sure that it has air holes for circulation also, and can tightly close. Mine can tightly close, and you can like feel it click when you do it. And every once in a while, when it is in your ball, you will need to check, make sure it is still tight. Another thing that people still don't think they need sometimes is chew blocks until it's too late. See, hamster, and like other rodents, teeth constantly grow and grow and grow. So if they don't have something like hard to chew on, like these little pieces of blocks, they're like wood, hamsters say paint, they will start chewing on the bars. That will cause your cage to wear out and other problems. So they're really cheap. It's not really that much to get them and things like it. I bought them really cheap for like 1 billion of them. I just rotate them every once in a while. And my hamster loves them. Also, food. I use Nutri-Fees right now. I think that's how it's pronounced. But right now I wish I used something different. I've got my hamster. This is my first hamster, and well, I didn't know exactly all the hamster care. The pet store said this was the kind of food they give their hamsters, and so I was like, okay, I'll get this kind. It's cheap and everything. I've learned never do that. Well, it's not the best because as you can see, it's seed-based rather than pellet-based. You need a pellet-based diet because that's where they can get the nutrients from, seeds. Although you can, it's like sugar for us. You can use it in moderation, but when you like eat a lot of it, it makes them really fat, and that's why my hamster has a weight problem right now. Also, especially with the economy, I know you need cheap, high-end places instead of like those $1 million store-bought things. So, some cheap ways is get a cute box, get any type of box, cut a hole in it. That's what I did. My hamster loves playing with this, and it's really also cute. It's all purple and pretty and matches my room. Also toilet paper and paper towel rolls. They love playing in them. My hamster doesn't. She has like some issues with that. But you're going to need to make sure you get all the paper towel or some toilet paper off because they don't need to be chewing on that. They can choke on that. But I've heard they really love playing on them. Also, you're going to need to remember the cage. I use Critter Trail. It's right here, Critter Trail. This is one of their smaller cages, but it's perfect size for a dwarf hamster. Probably the smallest size you're going to need for a dwarf hamster. But basically, you're going to need to make sure you have a plastic bottom to keep the bedding in and not out of the cage. They will push it out. Wire in the middle. People think they can just get aquariums and it'll be fine, but it's not fine because the wire helps circulate air and smells. It never stinks now, and if you get an aquarium, it can easily stink. I like getting Trader Trail because they're very cheap and they come with extra things, and such as a no-tip bowl. And no, doesn't you need to make sure you don't get no-tip, doesn't tip, because you will end up with a big mess. They are little messy critters, and this is no tip because it has a little place where it can just snap into place. Also, wheels. Wheels are very important because they run also constantly, and when they're not in the ball, they need somewhere to run. You need to make sure it has no holes. This is a perfect example, although it's a little noisy. It's a perfect example. No holes. If you get something that's a mesh wire or just plain wire, you're going to need to get something different because those are not acceptable. They can easily get their foot stuck, hurt. Also, you're going to need a water bottle. This is the one that came with the cage. It's kind of cheap. It leaks all the time because of the water pressure thing. It stays in place with the steel. The best thing that is a ball bearing. For this brand of cages, they do make ball bearing balls. Water bottles that can go with them, but they cost like $6. I don't want to pay for them. My sister does because she travels with her hamster in the car, so it helps with her. But when you do get it, I would get a ball bearing one. Also, another good idea, this came with it. It's also another hiding place. It's a man-made nest. I used to be hanging on a chain, and she was so freaked out to go in it. But because now it's not hanging on a chain, she loves it. And so that's a heads up. They don't like those things. Also, I have a hamster toilet. You don't need them, but they're very nice because they will pee a lot and poop a lot, and mine's not all the way trained. But once it is, I can just go in there every day, scoop it out with this thing. They come with a toilet scoop, and the toilet itself with some litter. You can always buy refills. And it also acts like a little tiny home that they can play in. And the hamster itself, but that's a different story. It's a robo, just to let you know. She's Cinnamon. That's our little star of the show. And so just watch us and stuff, and have fun with your hamster. Bye.